Hey guys, what's up? It's AndrewAJT back for a bank video this time. I made a bank video quite a few months ago, and back then my bank was around 300 mil, and now it is 1.2 bill, so we certainly have made some improvements over this past year, and very excited to show you guys that. Before we get started, just a couple of things to mention. In case I sound different, I'm in my new apartment in upstate New York for my senior year of college. Very excited to be up here. I love this apartment so much. I get to, it's all to myself, and it's pretty spacious, really nice place to live, and it's actually not really expensive either, because upstate New York is pretty cheap in general during the summers and stuff. And for most of my life, I've been in Long Island, but I go to college in upstate New York, which is very cold, but it's also has its ups and downs. But other thing to mention, if you guys did not see my last video, I did change my name. My name before used to be this, AndrewAJT62, for YouTube, for pretty much every single service you could think of. And I changed that to AndrewAJT. That will be my new YouTube name and Twitch name. Twitter is AndrewJT, just because AndrewAJT was taken. But just want to let you guys know that if you see the YouTube channel being different, it's now AndrewAJT, and that's really the gist of it. The only thing to really mention important is that the clan chat is still AndrewAJT62, just like you see there. The reason for that is because I have so many old videos with like annotations and stuff that say AndrewAJT62 that I don't want to change that, and then those people wouldn't be able to find the clan chat. So that's going to stay the same, but otherwise everything else is AndrewAJT now. So yeah, I guess we can get started. Sorry if there's any background noise or anything weird about the audio in this video. I'm still kind of figuring out the acoustics of this apartment, and also there's usually background noise and like cars going by in front of me. I don't live on a busy street, but there's a lot of like activity and stuff, which is actually cool. There's a nice view, but still trying to like figure out the audio, and also probably should start using my Blue Yeti microphone once I figure out like a audio mixer for that. Fun fact about this door, by the way, you used to be able to try to close this door. Now you can only examine it. I actually am responsible for this change. I do a lot of fishing here, and always I would click on this door when I'm trying to go in the deposit box, as you see it just right in the way. And I tweeted some JMods, and they changed that for me. And they also added a bank left click option to this guy, which is really nice. But yeah, let's get started. So let's see. First tab, this is my junk tab. This is where I have a lot of things that I would need pretty regularly, and then just a lot of junk like loot and stuff. So not going to spend too much time going through everything in here. But big cash stack, I usually say it's not good to have a big cash stack, but I haven't really found anything to spend it on. Other than I could do herblore and construction, I just have found these skills to be very boring to train, so eventually I'll put that money towards those, or maybe towards a twisted bow. We'll talk more about that towards the end of this video, but yeah, I always say it's not good to have a big cash stack. If you have a big cash stack, you probably could be spending some money on skills or better gear or something. But yeah, I do right now, and it actually is kind of annoying, because whenever I get like a big drop or anything, it's like, oh, just more money, which is not really that exciting once you already have a decent amount of it. This is really the biggest cash stack I've had for any good amount of time. So then we have things you quickly want to grab out of the bank. A lunar staff. I don't have the Lumbridge Elite done, so I still need that. Spade for treasure trails, Karamja gloves for Slayer, ecumenical keys. Always good to have a lot of those, especially if you have the diaries done. You can get up to 5. Soul bearer, you can put in soul heads in there from Slayer tasks and such. Burning amulet, great for wilderness things. Good update for there. Gotta get more of those, of course. But yeah, boots of lightness. These really don't belong here anymore, but back before there was stamina pots, I would usually grab like things like that when doing a clue scroll, so the run energy wouldn't deplete quite as quick. And yeah, miscellaneous stuff here. I used to do a lot of free-to-play PKing back pre-OC, and also like 2005 or so when I was first started playing, so have plenty of these rune sets for stuff like that, although you don't really need them. Sometimes they come in handy for members PKing, although I use a torso and fighter hat often as well. But when you're in deep build, it's good to have some rune as well, and you know, I alch these or sell them when I get the chance. Rune boots, of course, are good for PKing, and they're very, very cheap. They used to be like 400k when the game came out, but not anymore. 9 KBD heads is something that very few people have. 9 of these. I have almost 2,000 KBD kills, but I still don't have the pet, so no luck with that yet, but I've been pretty lucky with some other pets, which you'll see at the end of this video. So yeah, not much else to say about this tab, just junk. You know, things that have no real place will go in here. I'll clean this out every once in a while for more bank space. My bank isn't actually full. I have the bank fillers in, but I only have like 50 free spaces if I take those out. So yeah, definitely need to clean this up a bit. But yeah, I usually just liquidate this when I can. Next tab is my skilling, or not really skilling actually, more my skill capes and my quest item tab. This only says 1.1 bill, but sometimes it says 1.2. It depends on the prices for OS Buddy, so it's not always accurate. And also I have some money on my other account, which would definitely bump this to 1.2. That's why I'm saying 1.2. I don't want you guys to think I'm like cheating. But anyways, yeah, so a lot of skill capes. I have the more useful ones kind of up at the top left here. Crafting cape is infinite teleports to the crafting guild, which is a very close bank. So that's something I'll grab quite a lot. Slayer cape I just got recently, so I keep that close just so I can wear one pretty often. It's a very nice looking cape. These capes are not particularly useful. This is a rapid heal cape that basically keeps that on infinitely, but it doesn't stack, so it's not too useful. It's useful for things like Winter Tot though. Quest cape, this is the fastest teleport to a fairy ring, and also Prayer cape is a holy wrench, but it's not really worth wearing. And yeah, these are the other capes: fletching, fire making, wood cutting, farming, which is a very nice cape actually. I think it looks very good. Magic is the spellbook swap, which is good for PKing, and yeah, the melee capes, which are here, and cooking cape of course. And I do keep all the hoods. Maybe if my bank space runs out, I'll kind of get rid of those, but they do match the cape quite nicely. And then most of these are just kind of quest items. Some useful things here, like the Peaceful Blessing. These are very cheap and good for PKing, just gives an extra prayer bonus. I have 3 Abyssal Demon Heads, have a decent amount of kills for those, and Warm Gloves. I had a few of these, but I traded them in to try to get the pet, but I did not have any luck with that, or to get the other Pyromancer set, which I do have in my POH. Dwarven Helm, this gives good crush. Infernal Axe, which I got 99 woodcutting with. Very nice item there. And yeah, otherwise this is mostly junk. One interesting note is I do actually have a lot of items that you cannot get anymore if you don't keep them. So this is one silver necklace from Murder Mystery. A couple other things. Let's see if I can find them. Dark Dagger from Legends Quest. You cannot get this back. Blue Rit Sword or Blue Right. You can't get this back if you don't make an extra for yourself. And yeah, there's really actually a bunch of them. Some of them you can get back, but they're not quite useful, like Nurse Hat or the Fake Beak. Some weird looking items you can get here. But it's kind of cool that I have these items because you can't get them back. And there's actually probably a number of these items. The Gas Mask I don't think you can get back, although you can get the Mortar one back, which is basically the same thing. Or it actually might be this exact same item. Plague Jacket and Trousers, you can't get these back, I'm pretty sure. Weird things, like I can show you like the Cattle Prod. I don't think you can get another one of these. You might be able to. But yeah, just kind of interesting stuff to show you guys that you can't always get all these items back. Some of them you can get back, but they're kind of fun as well, like this one. You can annoy the crap out of people just spinning this around, and it has a nice little sound to it as well. Next we have the Harbler and Farming tab. Not really much activity in here anymore because I already have 99 farming. I still check the Calquat trees every once in a while to try to get the pet, and I actually have a lot of farming XP past 99. I have almost 800k more than you need for 99, which I believe is my highest rank skill because farming is kind of expensive to train. But I did enjoy doing farming, but not much point in doing it past 99 other than maybe for the pet. I do sell these herbs once they start to collect up, but otherwise there's not much to really see in here. We have my ranging tab, which is starting to get to the interesting stuff. Have a lot of these from Clue Scrolls. A lot of different arrows. Amethyst arrows, which I did for 99 fletching. That was very enjoyable to do those. Very, very quick XP, like almost 500k per hour, and you pretty much almost break even. So maybe I can even make a video on that, because that was kind of a little secret method I did that not many people know about. Getting 99 fletching very quickly and for free, and pretty much not destroying your hand with darts at the same time. Got my Zami set here and got some Sarah sets here, good little god items, and these are good for things like KBD because they give a prayer bonus and also almost as good bonus as Arma. And of course I got multiple Black Dead body sets. Diamond bolts and ruby bolts. Ruby bolts are pretty underrated. These are actually pretty good for Sarah when Sarah's at full HP. Crystal bow, which is actually underrated as well, because let me just show you. This actually has the same range bonus as the Armadillo crossbow, but the crystal bow is faster, but you can't use a shield with it, which is the unfortunate part. But I think there will be some uses for the crystal bow in the future because it shoots much farther than the Armadillo crossbow. Maybe 10 squares I think it shoots, which is very, very far. Maybe even 11 on long range, I'm not fully sure. And it is the same speed as a whip, so kind of fun item to use, although there's not too many uses. But the Armadillo crossbow, of course, you can bump the range bonus up with a shield, such as the Odium Ward, or you can use the Ellie, which I have as well. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite items, but it's not super useful, but I think maybe in the future there'll be some more uses. I don't have too many cannonballs anymore because I already got 99 Slayer. Carills, which is always very good. It's, you know, some of the best mage defense in the game and doesn't give you negative melee bonuses. Plenty of Ava's accumulators, although I don't use this anymore because the RuneScape does the same thing and it gives prayer, although it doesn't give as much range bonus. And then the Holy Blessing, which has a weird like pixel down there or two of like blue. I don't know why they keep changing the colors of these. Archer's Ring Imbued, Full Armadillo, which has actually gone up. Holy shit, that's 32 mil. That's pretty insane. And even this is a pretty good drop now, almost 4 mil. That's really nice to see. And yeah, these are good for like Wildy Gower's Dungeon, and then Blowpipe, of course, is a very, very good weapon. Anguish, one of the only items that gives range strength, so always want to wear that when you can. And Black Chins, because I do a lot of Armadillo. And Dragon Hunter Crossbow is very, very nice for KBD as well. Alright, so next, more excitement, we got the Magic and Teleports tab. Nothing actually too much to see here. I got a decent amount of every rune. Probably could buy more like fire runes and stuff. I'm sure I have some in the rune pouch. But, you know, always like to have a decent stock of runes. These are actually more useful than people make them out to be. Sometimes these are actually cheaper than just using one of the other runes. Like I've heard something like maybe like mud runes are cheaper than using earth runes or something. Of course you can use earth runes in free to play and they're probably easier to buy in bulk, but I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I've heard things like that before, and you could actually save inventory. At least if you're using like Entangle, I think you need like earth and water for those, so mud runes actually save inventory space, but overall these runes are pretty useless, or underused, I would say. I was just trying to make an argument that they are useful, but who knows if they could use some sort of buff in the future. But anyway, plenty of teleports to the house. The only reason really 99 construction would help me is it gives you the construction cape, which is infinite teleports to the houses, which are very, very nice. So that would be a reason to get 99 construction in the future. Not too sure how it is now with all the construction updates where you can like press buttons to build stuff. Maybe that makes it more ergonomic, but certainly blowing my hands out is part of the reason I don't want to get 99 construction. But I certainly have the money for it now. Royal Seed Pod, this is a teleport that gives you teleports up to 30 wilderness, which is very, very nice. It's one click, which is really amazing. So a very, very nice item you get from Monkey Madness 2. Master Scrollbook, this came out semi-recently. It gives you teleports to all of these different locations from the clue scroll. Saves a lot of bank space as well. And make sure we click on the bank here. So we have the Beacon Ring, which is a quest item, which gives you 2 mage bonus, I think. Let's see. It's either 1 or 2. Oh, it is 2. There you go. And mage defense as well. So that's very, very nice to have because you can get this back infinite times for free. So if you're doing some deep will DPKing, it is very, very nice to have. So little quest items like that, like people just get rid of quest items when they don't realize that some of these items are actually very useful. I mean, you could buy some Sears rings, but that's expensive. And this you get infinite amount of times for free. So very nice. Mystic, I'm not a welfare PKer. I always like to go in my Mystics when I go PKing. I use Nezi probably more often than the hat, but always like the old school look of Mystics, and also their bonuses are much better than the Zarek robes. Got my full Aram set, which is not really too useful other than the top and bottom, which are very, very good. Occult Necklace, this is actually dirt cheap now. I'm very surprised it's that bad, so hopefully they buff Thermi soon. I know I've talked about that a lot in the past, but I do have the pet now, so I don't have to really kill that boss. So Book of Darkness, very, very good. Seer's Ring, this was buffed, although it's still kind of cheap. Sarah Cape, good mage bonus all around. Eternal Boots, so we got my Toxic Staff of the Dead. Very fun to venom people as you're casting spells on them with good damage bonus. And we got my Imbued Heart, which I paid 44 mil for. Now it's 19, as you see there. And my Tormented Bracelet, which is actually not a great item because I think it's only 5% mage bonus, which is not super good because if you're doing like Tribert or something, even in PVM, it's annoying to switch to it just for a 5% boost, but it's very good nonetheless. So that's really the Mage tab. Also some Boros tabs, which you can make with the Arceus Favor and the Ectophile. This is like the old school one-click teleport. Very, very nice to have in some situations. And the Rune Pouch, of course, is extremely useful. Potions tab, not a ton to see here. I try to not use too many super combats because they are extremely expensive. People don't really realize how expensive these are and how much you really not trying to equip them. So let's see, one set of attack, strength, and defense, that is 4k, and often people don't even care about the defense, so it would be more like 2.6k, but if you use these, These are 11.4k, so that is very expensive. It says 10.5k, but I bet it's a little more by now. So definitely don't use these too much because they're very expensive, and that money, you know, an extra 6 or 7k every couple sips, that does add up pretty quick. I have my inventory kind of set up here for quick PKing, so like if I would just want to like grab like a PK setup, you know, this is like a pretty good setup here. So I have them lined up like that. Also KBD, I can quickly grab like this and this, which you need for KBD. Always good to have. And yeah, otherwise I do keep the, you know, half dose potions, and I just combine them every once in a while. Stamina pots, definitely one of the better updates in the game. Very, very useful to have for pretty much anything. Got my food tab. Not much to say here other than I use a lot of tuna potatoes actually, because at one point tuna potatoes became so cheap that they were actually cheaper than sharks, and that isn't the case anymore, I'm sure because of minnows. But yeah, tuna potatoes are a very nice healing food. They heal the most of anything in the game, tied with many things, but they heal 22, sharks heal 20, so for PKing that is very nice in some situations where you don't have a lot of room for food, you want to really maximize that food. Anglerfish also heal 22, and they come with the added benefit of healing over your max HP, but otherwise it's not really too useful. I don't know why people use anglerfish so much, because they really are just the same thing, and you're not going to be typically eating too overfull, especially for PKing, and these are also extremely expensive, so you don't want to use these too much, and you know, they don't really provide much benefit over tuna potatoes for being much more expensive, although you can heal over max, but you could also do that with brews. Monkfish, always good for cheap food for like Slayer and stuff like that. I do a lot of fishing of them as well. I have 10.5 mil worth of just monkfish over the last few months that I fished, so that's a very good amount of XP gain there. And Krombons, these are always good as well for healing correctly. A lot of people don't know you can actually heal. I think it's been so long that I've PK'd like a month or two, but you can actually heal very quickly, very quick. So that doesn't make much sense, but watch, you can do this. That's like 40 something HP in one tick, so a lot of people don't know how quickly you can heal if you make good use of those items. But stews and curry, good for things like Chaos Elemental and Manta Rays, which I think I got as like drops from Zulrah. I had a Zulrah test, so that accounts for those. And those also heal 22, but I think they're pretty expensive. Let's take a look here. Yeah, actually that's probably around the same price, maybe even a little cheaper than tuna potatoes, so that's another option as well. Also, people are always worried about burning stuff when they're cooking. You don't really have to worry about burning too much stuff with cooking gauntlets. These are the entirety of the sharks that I burned from 99 Cooking, which is a very, very small amount. That doesn't even cut into the profits of cooking very much, assuming sharks are still profitable to cook, which I would imagine they are. So don't worry too much about burning stuff when cooking. Just go with the heavy XP rates. And here's what we've all been waiting for. So this is the melee tab. Got so much cool stuff in here. Got my quick kind of setup here for so many situations you want to grab these items out of the bank real quick. Oh, actually, I thought I missed the Nezi there. That's pretty good. These are like the strength bonus items, which are always good to have. Give you a lot of, you could call them supplementary bonuses. So I always like to have those front and center. And Barrow's Gloves are such a good item. I got these 3 weeks into OldSchool coming out back in February of 2013. So, and that was without the GE or really any guides out there anywhere. So very, very important to get these very quickly on just about really any new account that you're going to make, unless it's like a 1 defense pure, which you obviously can't get that. Proslet, some of the best armor in the game. This gives it a massive prayer bonus and pretty good defense, the defense of Adamant. It actually has the weight of Adamant, which is very heavy. Mithril armor, there's so many weird things I know about this game that aren't very useful. Like Mithril armor is extremely light, whereas Adamant is extremely heavy. So little weird things like that to know, but the prayer bonus is insane. Very good for Slayer tasks where you want to have piety on pretty much all the whole time if you want to do it really quickly. Some diary items, these are very good. Really all of these are very useful. These aren't the max ones, but this gives a very good prayer and stab bonus more than the skill capes. Magic bonus as well, so that's good for PKing. Wilderness Sword always cuts the web, so it's kind of worth having this sometimes, especially if you don't have another slash weapon. This can give you run energy and alks. I only have the 2-1, so don't make fun of me. And I also only have the 2-1 for this because I don't have full Motherlode Mining armor set, or Prospector rather. Couple other miscellaneous things here, like to quickly grab out of the bank, the Unholy Book, good prayer bonus, good for ranging and meleeing for PKing situations. Anti-Dragon Shield, of course, for KBD. Monk's Robes, which are very good for, honestly on a main they're not that good, but they give good prayer bonus and very light and such like that. Had my dragon item weapon collection. Pretty much got almost everything here, other than maybe one or two things. Dragon halberd, definitely one of my favorite weapons, although it's not very useful, especially because the crystal halberd, which isn't very useful itself because it's so slow, is just a totally upgraded version of this. But I did get this from the diary, which is an extremely nice item to have. It's just super tall. It's like a pike more than a crystal halberd, but this was an item that was rumored to have been coming out for years, and it's finally here with the Kandarin hard diary, or no, rather Western Provinces diary. But I like how it's so tall it goes over the equip item screen. I'm not sure if any other items do that. But so moving on, crystal shield, pretty good shield actually. This gives very good range bonus. It happens to be the best ranged defensive shield in the entire game, which I think a lot of people don't know. The DFS gives 72, LE gives 57, and the crystal shield gives 80, which is by far the best. And you know, I just want to make my little rant here. A lot of people make this rant, but the DFS is actually a pretty useless item other than when fighting dragons. The Dragon Defender having these offensive bonuses being so high makes it just so much better for almost every situation. Sometimes you want to have that defense, like if you're ranging, but these bonuses are just so insane, and the strength bonus as well being almost as high, and the accuracy is really the important thing. It's just so much better than the DFS for almost every situation. Of course, if you're fighting dragons or something, you may want to have the DFS. Got my pendant set here, the fighter torso and fighter hat. The torso is very good as well. It's a free armor, gives you the same strength bonus as a Bandos chestplate, and rune defense, which is almost as good as Bandos, so very important item to have for most accounts. And the fighter hat is one of my favorite items because of the insane accuracy bonuses it gives, and you can use it for PKing as well. I use this for Corp as well, because even though it's not the best crush bonus for the Dragon Warhammer, it's only one off the Dwarven Helm. It gives the stab bonus as well. So very, very useful item to have here. Really in many situations. Good for Bandos as well if you want the extra accuracy. Fury, best overall amulet in the game, but the Torture gives better melee stats. And got my melee rings here, the Berserker ring for strength bonus, Warrior ring. Very good item in some places for more accuracy. Tyrannical ring for crush bonus, and this for stab bonus. The Ring of Suffering is also one of the best rings in the game because the insane defense bonuses, including 20 mage defense, which you can't get really anywhere else, and a very good prayer bonus as well, so a very good package there. And then Tentacle Whip, which I actually do use in a lot of places for the extra 8 accuracy. Got the Frozen Abyssal Whip, which is the same as a normal whip. Got my Godsword set, Armadillo, Saradome, and Bandos, and Zamorak. Really, all these Godswords are pretty useful. The Godswords are really good items to have in the game, although they're kind of slow, but they are not as slow as something like the Dragon 2H. They're one tick faster than that, so they're actually battle axe speed, which is kind of weird, but still very cool items, but mostly only useful for their special attack. We have the Dragon Warhammer, which is extremely useful, and you can have a lot more accuracy with it with items like the Tyrannical ring, so it's always fun to combine like different items and see how high you can get your crush bonus with the Dragon Warhammer. Also hits very high. I believe it could actually hit higher than the BGS spec, which hits pretty high as well. So Zamorakian Spear and Hasta, or Hasta, depending on how you want to say that. Bludgeon, still maybe the best DPS for crush bonus. Maybe the Elder Maul is a little bit better. I'm not fully sure on that. We got my Silver Slayer helmet, so I have 99 Slayer, but I only have the Silver helmet because I think the Silver one is the best. Really not a fan of any of the other colors, and I use a ton of Slayer points for skipping, so never really saw the point in wasting points on the other ones. Got my green Serpentine helm, which is not a very good item anymore. Bando set, which is very overrated because when you look at the defense bonuses of Barrows, it's really much better to have the Barrow set. So like, the range bonus is not as good, but look at the slash bonus, 202. And with this, you drop all the way down to 156, which is a very, very big drop off for the Bando set, just for the 6 strength bonus. So Bandos is really just luxury armor. You don't really need it. People think, oh, I got to get Bandos. You know, I can't do Slayer until I have Bandos. Barrows is almost as good, and if you don't want it to degrade either, you can use something like a D-Skirt and the Torso, which gives you almost as much strength and still kind of comparable defense. So don't freak out if you don't have Bandos. Also got the DFS here, which I talked about, and the LE, which is a very cool item, but limited in its use. It gives you an average of 17% damage reduction, which is very nice, but you miss out on all these bonuses. But I do like that it gives prayer bonus as well. I tend to not flick for everything, like the 2-tick flicking you can do here. I am pretty good at that actually, but I'm not going to do it now. But yeah, so then we got my Barrow sets here. Varrock set is one of my favorite, maybe my favorite in general, because you can hit through pretty much any sort of armor. Darrock set Guthans used to be more useful, but I think it's still very useful without things like Soul Split in the game. And Torags is pretty useless, even though it's kind of cool. So I have that in its own little armor set. And yeah, that's my bank. This is just Pyramid Plunder tab from like 2 or 3 years ago, which I don't really play anymore. Maybe I'll get 99 there in the future though. So yeah, as I showed you, the bank on OS Buddy says it's 1.1 bill, but just to show you the price check, it can get kind of close to that even with one inventory. Wow, that's kind of trolly actually, just short of a bill, but the OS Buddy price guide says it's over a bill, so definitely have no issues with money in the game anymore. But one thing to consider is that the Twisted Bow is around 980 mil right now, so I could actually sell a lot of things and have the Twisted Bow and have a couple mil left over. Let me know if you guys think I should do that. That would be very fun, but I'm not sure how useful it would be, because one of the main things I do now is Arma, which doesn't really need a Twisted Bow because Black Chins are a little bit better. Sarah, I already have that pet, which you'll see very shortly. Mole would be kind of fun, I guess. I don't really do much Zulrah, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that. It would be a huge change to my account to have a Twisted Bow instead of most of this gear. Like I said, I'd still have a couple hundred mil left over, so it wouldn't be too bad, but it'd be very odd to sell all this and have that little adventure, but it's an option to consider for sure. So just to show you guys the rest of my account, it almost feels like I'm selling my account, but trust me, I would never do that. And my stats, I'm very happy with my stats. Not even 200 levels off of max. Maybe I'll go for max someday, but I'm still very not a big fan of rune crafting and mining, and agility as well. Throw that in there as well. I know there's mining tot coming out soon, which might be a little better, but I think there should be better ways to train skills like rune crafting. There's no need for them to be that slow and that boring and that tedious, even though some very strange people seem to like those skills. But I do have a lot of 99s over here. You know, farming, that's a very good one. Slayer is a very slow one. And I do have crafting is a very expensive one, which I have. Probably costed almost 150 mil for that, so glad I got that one. And then have actually a lot of XP. I have 254 million total XP. I haven't made a video in a while, so having trouble there. But almost 32 million HP XP, and almost 20 mil in all of these, except not defense. A lot of range XP, almost 20 million there. Get a lot from Arma. Not much prayer XP, but good amount of magic XP. And 80 agility also I kind of got recently, so that's a very nice one to have as well. And let's check out the house and the pets. So quick look at the house. I got my ornate pool, which is extremely useful. Heals pretty much just about everything. Your run, prayer, special attack, all of these things. Lowered stats, things like that. Very, very nice item to have. You can get this at as early as 82 construction. I have 84 just for a couple extra things like the nature house, which we'll look at in a moment, and also the jewelry box, which is extremely useful. So many teleports from here. The occult altar, you can change all your spell books. I have the Arceus one as well, because I have most of the favors done. I don't have the Lovakinj one done because that looks kind of annoying, but with the quest that came out recently, or semi-recently, it looks like it'll be a little better and quicker. Got the crafting cape for a quick teleport there. Kraken on display there. Quick look at my kills. Some of these are inaccurate because I did 85 Slayer before kill streaks were being recorded, as well as things like even the Slayer helmet or Slayer points weren't out back then, so that was definitely a grind. Slayer is much better now. A lot of good updates to that, just like they should do for rune crafting, as I was saying. Slayer is so much faster XP than it used to be because of all these updates, so I don't see why rune crafting can't have something like that. But a lot of Abyssal Demon kills there. You guys saw I have the 3 heads, and plenty of kills before the kill count update as well. And yeah, pretty good numbers for all these, except for like some of these, because definitely don't want to kill things like cave crawlers too much anymore. We can look at the boss log. Again, some of these are inaccurate, but I have a lot of DK skills. Still no pet for this yet, even though I have over 1,000 of each of these killed. But I do have 3 out of 4 of the God Wars pets. I'm going for the Armadillo pet right now, which is the highest kill count I have, but I don't have that pet yet, so that's a little ironic, but certainly with a 1 out of 5,000 kill count, I can't be complaining. I don't have any Sire kills, and I don't have many Cerberus kills. Never really liked those bosses. Cerberus I probably should have done some of, but oh well. Definitely I want to start doing raids sometime soon. Jad pet would be nice to go for. I don't really like Zulrah because of the kind of consistent money that it makes. I like kind of, getting that big hilt or something drop as opposed to just making a flat like 2 mil per hour, even though it's very good. Scorpia, I went and got the pet for that, so done with that. 618 kills, and I do have the Callisto pet, but I'm still going for Venenatus and Vedion. And yeah, KBD is a pretty good one as well. Almost 2,000 kills of that without getting the pet yet. And Kraken, which is somewhere down here as well, I have 1.5k kills and no pet for that yet. But maybe if I do more Slayer, we can go for that one. We will look at the pets. Actually, I'll save that for last just because that's going to be very interesting. But I got some portals here. Got the Maxing Dummy Spirit Tree with all the trees planted, and Corinne Portal, Water Birth, and Lunar Isle. This is really nice for Slayer because it brings you right to the Slayer Cave on Zaya. And a couple other things to see. Some very useful portals here. Canifis, Artie, and Varrock, and the GE because I have the diary done for that. Also the free-to-play teleports and Camelot, as well as the kind of miscellaneous ones. Fishing Guild, Ape Atoll, and Anakarl, which is Canifis. Or no, that's actually Deep Wildy. And you could actually use this to check out some of these places in advance. So let me just show you. You can observe them and see if there's anyone like PKing here. Pretty good for like Callisto and such, but sometimes that happens, which is a glitch, I think. Not a ton else to see in the houses, but there's my favor. I'll show you the diaries as well. The only one I've completed is Western Provinces for the Chompy check. I definitely wanted that pet pretty bad. Armor case, we can take a quick peek at here. The really only things of note, Rogue Armor, I got that kind of recently. Gives you more money when you're thieving. The Temple Knight Armor, got there. Builder's Costume, some quests, robes is here. I got all the voids, including Elite Void, so that's in the bank though. Shazian Armor, I do have the Angler's outfit, which you guys should probably know already. Zerakin Armor, which is really newbie, and then that's about it for that. The Crack the Clue thing I don't have yet, although I'll probably get that sometime soon. And we could take a quick look at the Magic Wardrobe. Nothing really to see here, other than the Graceful Outfit, which is the red one, which I have, which is really nice. I got that nearly at 80 agility, because I got like 50, or I might have even gotten 70 agility before Rooftops came out. I don't remember. But Pyromancer set, which took me over 99 fire making to get, which is very, very unlucky. So let's take a look at the pets. I certainly love getting pets and pet hunting. Got the Chaos Elemental, that's a very easy one to get. The Bandos pet, which is my first pet, I got that somewhere around 500 or 600 kills. Sarah pet, which is my favorite pet by far. Got pretty lucky with that, 267 kills for that. Zami pet, I got that at like 130 kills, so that was very lucky. This definitely took a fair amount of kills. The Smoke Devil pet for Thermi, a boss that should definitely be buffed in terms of its drops. The Chompy Check pet, which is not an easy one to get because it has very high requirements for the Western Elite Diary, although getting the actual pet once you have those requirements is very simple. Callisto and Scorpia pets, which are very fun to get. I love going for the Wilderness boss pets because of just the risk of the wilderness and the fact that they have more common drop rates. And also the Heron, which is my only skilling pet, which I got at 73. Fishing, even though I did not get the Beaver, I did not get the Phoenix, or I did not get the Tangleroot or Tanglefoot or whatever from getting 99 in all these skills, so that's kind of unfortunate. I also have the Menagerie totally decked out, so I even have the little boxing ring for the pets here, which is kind of cool to see them fight it out and say all the different things. They have a lot of different dialogue, which people probably don't know about. But yeah, that's probably going to do it for the video. Just want to say thank you guys for sticking with me through this whole video. Sorry I'm a little rusty with commentary. Commentary is definitely a thing you have to practice often to be good at and be consistent with. So I might be a little rusty for this video, but I definitely wanted to make a bank video. It was definitely overdue. So I also want to thank everyone who's been in the clan chat, and if you want to join it, it again is AndrewAJT's. The other day I logged in and there was 19 people in it still, which is pretty insane. Considering I haven't been playing much the last few weeks, so definitely appreciated all those people there, and all you guys in general. You guys are the best fan base I could really ask for, so please like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. You can click the little bell next to the sub button if you want to get notifications whenever I upload. And just the other couple things is the Twitter and Twitch. Those are the new links for those are in the description, and also the Discord as well, which has been extremely active as always. There's like 150 people in there now, so that's always very nice to see. Otherwise, that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Should I get a Twisted Bow? Should I not get the Twisted Bow? What should I do? What videos should I make? What series should I start? It's up to you guys, so let me know what your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys soon.